Hello, Roberto. This is Priscilla. It is a pleasure to be with you again today. What we're going to do today is talk a little bit about the Constitution. What is the Constitution? The Constitution of the United States is to protect the freedoms of all of its citizens. And since you will soon become one of the citizens of the United States, it would be a great idea to understand what the Constitution actually represents and how you will benefit from being a citizen and understanding the Constitution of the United States. Recently, we were reading a story about spots on the face. I want to take this story as you engage in developing your comprehension, reading, and conversational skills and think about the Constitution. I will share my screen and we will read a story. Again, your goal is to practice for 30 minutes or at least 20 minutes per day as you develop your conversational English skills. Let's get started. I hope you can see the screen now, and this is the story. First, let's take a look at the image at the bottom left, and this is a person, a patriotic person with some arrows. Notice the three dots or the three spots, and there is a hand here and there is a hand here, and these hands are going to represent the 10 commandments, amendments rather, which are considered the first 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. You'll need to know that. I want you to think of your face as the Constitution, and these three spots are going to represent parts of the Constitution. Here's your story for today. Roberto looked in the mirror. Where were all those red spots on his face? Roberto had to get up early and prepare for the citizenship ceremony. Roberto was ready to answer questions like, what is the supreme law of the land? He would stand up straight and say, the supreme law of the land is the Constitution. Every morning he had fresh red spots on his face. Were they insect bites? Roberto thought of these spots as the Constitution and would remind himself of one question he might be asked about the Constitution. What does the Constitution do? Roberto would touch his eyes and his nose. Then he would say, as he touched his right eye, the Constitution sets up the government. Now, Roberto will think about his left eye and say, the Constitution defines the government. Then Roberto thinks about his nose and says to himself, the Constitution protects basic rights of Americans. Now, Roberto wanted to go to sleep. So he closed his eyes and said, the first three words of the Constitution are, we the people. He said these words 3 times. We the people. We the people. We the people. Were insects biting him at night? Roberto knew he must make a change, just like an amendment. So, what is an amendment? An amendment is a change to the Constitution and an addition to the Constitution. What were those red spots? Those red spots were amendments that needed to be changed. Roberto needed to add something to his face, and he needed to change something on his face. Roberto got the idea to see his face as the Constitution and his 10 fingers as the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. thought Roberto, as he looked at both of his hands and counted 10 fingers and thought of 10 things he could change on his face. In the caption, Roberto, you will see the words amendment, Constitution, and the first 3 words of the Constitution are. An amendment is something that can be changed and something that can be added to the Constitution. So what is the Constitution? The Constitution sets up government, defines government, and protects basic rights of the people. The first 3 words of the Constitution are, we the people. I want you to think of the Constitution as your face, and I want you to think of the 10 fingers that you have as the first 10 amendments, and those are the Bill of Rights. Review this information, reflect on what you have learned, read this passage over and over and over again for at least 20 minutes today. You may pause the video until your 20 minutes is up, and that will be your lesson for today. Thanks, Roberto, and I hope that you will have a wonderful day. And I should be back to our screen, and there I am. Take care, and I will talk with you soon. Have a nice day.